Good evening. I'm Randall Kline, the founder and executive artistic director of SFJAZZ, and I'm happy, make that delighted, to welcome you to tonight's NEA Jazz Masters celebration. All of us at SFJAZZ are honored to be hosting tonight's historic broadcast. It marks the first time in nearly 2 decades that the Jazz Masters Awards have been hosted by a West Coast organization. And had the pandemic not intervened, the entire ceremony and concert would have happened on this very stage back in April. We're in the heart of San Francisco. Since we opened the SFJAZZ Center in 2013, we have sunk deep roots here in service to this music we love, jazz. This theater, this building, was built on the backs of jazz masters. Without them, we would not be here. Thank you to the National Endowment for the Arts for establishing the Jazz Masters program in 1982 in recognition of these artists' extraordinary contributions to American culture, now revered and practiced around the world. In the windows of the building across the street, we've displayed photographer William Gottlieb's beautiful images of jazz icons, courtesy of the Library of Congress, blown up to bigger than life size of many NEA Jazz Masters and heroes like Billie Holiday, Thelonious Monk, Sarah Vaughan, and Dizzy Gillespie. Were they here today, I'm certain they'd be performing here on this stage, and believe me, we can't wait to return to the presentation of live music here. Terri Lyne Carrington, tonight's music director, will help transport all of us as she leads our house band and special guests. We're so grateful to all of tonight's artists for joining in from all over the country to pay tribute to this year's NEA Jazz Masters. SFJAZZ would not be here without the constant support of the National Endowment for the Arts. Tonight, in partnership with them, we bring you this worldwide online event honoring 4 new Jazz Masters. So, Dorthaan, Roscoe, Reggie, and Bobby, I welcome and thank you for your lifelong contributions to this music, always pushing jazz forward. Before I hand things over to tonight's host, I invite you to be a part of the post-show virtual reception where I'll be moderating a conversation with our 4 new NEA Jazz Masters. I expect they'll have some stories to tell. You're welcome to join in the conversation and ask questions of your own. Now, it's my honor to introduce tonight's host, one of the foremost singers of our era, and also an NEA Jazz Master herself, Dee Dee Bridgewater, from her home in the birthplace of jazz, New Orleans. Dee Dee, I miss you and wish we could be together here on this stage.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2020 National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Masters Tribute Concert. It's a thrill for me to host this event for SFJAZZ and the Arts Endowment. And Randall Kline, I sure do wish that I could be with you on that beautiful stage in San Francisco, where I have performed so many times. But we are here in New Orleans, in my home, so welcome. I only wish that we could physically be together and that I could sing for you. I love the East, I love the West, and North and South, they're both the best. But I'd only go there as a guest, 'cause I love being here with you. I love the sea, I love the shore, I love the rock, and what is more, with you there they'd only be a bore, 'cause I love being here with you. Singing in the shower, dancing by the hour, life is just a breezy game. Through all kinds of weather, long as we're together, I love to hear you say my name. I love good wine and fine cuisine and candlelight. I dig the scene, but baby, if you know what I mean, I love being here with you. Here with you. I like a dance by Fred Astaire and Brandel's eyes, you Brenner's hair. But I think it's fine and only fair. I love being being here with you. And Cary Grant, oh, what a day. His utter charm takes me away. But don't get me wrong, how can I say I love being here with you. Basie's band a swinging, I like Ella singing, because there's something else you know. They know how to say it, they know how to play it, they wind it up and let it go. I love the thrill of New York shows. I love to kiss Rock Hudson's nose. But I'd like to say before I close that I love, I just love, I love being here with you. Woo, that was fun. Thank you, SFJAZZ High School All-Stars. Aren't these young musicians amazing? SFJAZZ does such a great job developing the next generation of jazz talent. In fact, a former SFJAZZ High School All-Star, bassist Kanoa Mendenhall, is a member of tonight's house band, led by our musical director, master drummer Terri Lyne Carrington. Go Kanoa, and go Terri Lyne. And now, please join me in welcoming Mary Ann Carter, chairman of the National Endowment for the Arts. Mary Ann?
Thank you, Dee Dee. You look amazing tonight. Good evening. On behalf of the National Endowment for the Arts, I want to add my welcome to the audiences watching and listening from around the globe to this special tribute concert, a celebration of our nation's highest honor in jazz. Because of the pandemic, we are paying tribute to our 2020 Jazz Masters virtually, but that in no way diminishes the debt of gratitude we owe these masters of jazz. The National Endowment for the Arts is an independent agency fully funded by the federal government that provides access to the arts across the entire U.S. We were created in 1965 to celebrate the arts and secure their place as a national priority. And since then, we have made thousands of grants in communities large and small all across the country. Since 1982, we have awarded 157 Jazz Master Fellowships, each year honoring the remarkable accomplishments of a very diverse and incredibly talented group of jazz greats. And tonight, we carry on that tradition. Although this honor was created in 1982, our support for the jazz field at the Arts Endowment goes way back to 1969, and we've invested millions of dollars to support concerts, festivals, tours, and jazz education for students of all ages. In addition, to help arts organizations who have been severely impacted by COVID-19, we just distributed much-needed recovery dollars thanks to the Arts Endowment's portion of the CARES Act funding. We're so pleased to be celebrating NEA Jazz Masters with help from our new partners at SFJAZZ. Many thanks to SFJAZZ founder and executive artistic director Randall Kline and his entire team at SFJAZZ for being such great partners. And of course, many thanks to the endowment staff team, whose work has made tonight's concert possible. And now, on with the show.
I am honored now to introduce the first of our honorees. Dorthaan Kirk is a keeper of the jazz flame. She's an energizer, a crusader for the music, motivating and mentoring musicians far and wide over the past 40 plus years. They call her Mom. Raised in Texas, in Houston's 3rd Ward, she listened to the blues. Guitarist Albert Collins was her cousin. While doing her homework, Dorthaan listened to the radio. Duke Ellington was a favorite. And she began frequenting neighborhood jazz clubs with her friends. When she moved to Los Angeles, she became part of the informal network of families who opened their doors to traveling jazz musicians, offering home-cooked meals. That's how she met her future husband, the legendary multi-instrumentalist Rahsaan Roland Kirk. He later recorded a tune for her, Dorthaan's Walk, which captures her swinging gait and soulful energy. And it was through Rahsaan that she was introduced to so many musicians, visual artists, actors, and poets, the Eulipians, as he called them. After her husband's untimely death in 1977, Dorthaan took up his mantle. In 1979, she went to work for WBGO, the brand new jazz radio station in Newark, New Jersey. She became its heart, Newark's first lady of jazz, extending the station's mission, establishing a series of children's concerts and community-based art initiatives. At her Newark church, Bethany Baptist, she co-founded a free Jazz Vespers concert series. Over the last 20 years, it has presented A-list talents like John Faddis, Gregory Porter, and the late Jimmy Heath, all friends of Dorthaan. Musicians trust her and look to her for guidance. Bassist Christian McBride calls her the most unanimously loved person in the jazz world. For her jazz stewardship and spirit, for the way she spreads bright moments across the musical universe, we honor and thank Dorthaan Kirk.
A few years ago, there was an article on me in the New York Times. They called me Newark's First Lady of Jazz. And it stuck. I was born in Texas. I was 17 when I moved to Los Angeles. At that time, it was jumping. All the young people went out to see jazz. I met Rahsaan through a mutual friend, and when Rahsaan would come to town, he became one of the artists that came to my house to have a good home-cooked meal. Even though it was 7 short years, it was like 20 years because so much I did in that short period of time. After Rahsaan died, one of his friends who worked in public radio says to me, "There's this guy that lives right here in Newark, and he's starting a radio station." I said, "Steve, I don't know anything about radio." This is Steve Robinson, who recommended me work at WBGO. That's Bob Ottenhoff, the founder. Bob Ottenhoff, we had a long talk, and he just said, "Yes, I'll hire you." And I thought, these young white guys are nuts. We moved into the current WBGO January 1979 with absolutely nothing but a couple of old desks. 40 years later, and BGO has never looked back since. That children's concert series was one of the things that I was most proud of. I produced that for 25 years plus. I'm at home. I want to see who's still up here.
I love her. Can I have her?
Oh, this is great. Newark, in spite of its growth, it doesn't have a jazz club. Through working at WBGO and knowing all these artists, I produced Jazz Vespers at my church. It's become a huge, huge community event, almost like the big club to go to in Newark. We're now celebrating 20 years. That's a lot. I do look back at all I've done. It's overwhelming. Little old me. And I must say, it's because of the support of all these musicians coming to my rescue, as I call it, because the musicians know I've got their back.
Now, we would like to think of some very beautiful, bright moments You know what I mean? Bright moments is like being with your favorite love and y'all sharing the same ice cream dish and you get mad when she gets the last drop. Bright moments is like seeing something that you ain't never seen in your life and you don't have to see it, but you know how it looks. Is there any other bright moments before we proceed on?
Bright moments is like being hired at a radio station that was a brand new jazz station and not knowing you were even qualified. Then, 40 years later, you learn that you are a recipient of the NEA Jazz Masters Award. Bright moments.
Bright moments is like jumping up and down with the one you love. That's too heavy for y'all, right? Bright moments, bright moments, bright moments, bright moments, bright moments, bright moments, bright moments.
On the run, oh, politics, slavery, it's got me having
and bright moments. What an honor to be one of the 2020 recipients of the NEA Jazz Masters Award and to be in the company of such great, accomplished musicians. I'd like to thank Chairwoman Mary Ann Carter and her staff from the NEA. I'd like to thank the nominating committee, my family, and SFJAZZ and their staff. I'd also like to thank the participating musicians, particularly Steve Turre, who recorded and performed with Rahsaan Roland Kirk, and he's carried on his legacy and his music since he's been deceased, along with James Carter, who performs in the band, and Steve Turre performs Rahsaan's music all over the world. To Dee Dee Bridgewater, who performed in a recording session with Rahsaan in her early career, and to dear Terri Lyne Carrington. I'd like to thank all of the musicians that have been there for me over the years, all of the fans, all of the behind-the-scenes people like PR and technical people. I would love to thank them for always being there for me, and all others who have supported me over the years. My thanks to all of you and many, many bright moments.
Reggie Workman is one of the greatest bassists in the history of jazz. He is the glue on one classic album after the next. Art Blakey's Ugetsu, John Coltrane's Impressions, Freddie Hubbard's Hub Tones, Wayne Shorter's Juju. He is ubiquitous, and it all started in Philadelphia, where Reginald Workman grew up, purchasing his first bass in a pawn shop. It didn't even have a case. That didn't hold back Reggie. He carried it to school on the trolley and became an integral part of the Philly jazz scene, along with friends like Lee Morgan, McCoy Tyner, and Archie Shepp. After moving to New York, he worked with Coltrane. He joined Blakey's Jazz Messengers, and he played with Thelonious Monk, Yusef Lateef, Max Roach, Abbey Lincoln, Pharoah Sanders, Alice Coltrane, Oliver Lake, and me. A musician without boundaries, Reggie has performed with Herbie Mann and with Cecil Taylor. His sound is huge, and he'll groove you to death. An insatiable collaborator and band leader, he is also a teacher. In fact, Reggie will tell you that teaching is his calling. From Bedford-Stuyvesant to Montclair, New Jersey, he has been active on the ground, teaching in community art centers, developing the next generation. A professor at the New School in Manhattan, he has mentored a bumper crop of great players, including Roy Hargrove, Brad Meldau, and Robert Glasper. And here's the best part. Reggie Workman is still searching for what comes next. Rooted in tradition and open to innovation, he is a scientist of sound, and his heartbeat is in the bass. Reggie Workman.
There's a vibration that goes into your body. It affects you as a human being. You have to consider it like part of you. I decided when I was in junior high school that music was a very important thing for me. My family had a house north of Germantown in Philadelphia, and I used to have a room on the third floor where I would stay up all night practicing. Freddie Cole, Nat Cole's younger brother, came to Philadelphia and asked me to join his band. I traveled with Freddie Cole's quartet for a while, and then coming back into town, I could not be satisfied with staying in Philadelphia. I moved to New York and began to work with different people. So many musicians, I couldn't name them all. John Coltrane was working at the Village Gate, and I was working around the corner. John came in, didn't say anything, sat down, listened, and I was in awe. He left, went back to do his set at the Village Gate. A couple days later, he called me up and said, "Hey, Workman, do you want to join my band?" My thoughts were, hey, is the Pope Catholic? I'll never forget the time I asked him, "John, well, how do you want me to interpret this part of your tune?" And he stopped me and said, "Listen, man, I'm having a hard enough time playing this saxophone. Don't ask me how you're supposed to play the bass. You figure it out." Now, Art Blakey was a different kind of person. He was a more like a very specific leader, very definite about the way he wanted the group to be. So that was a new lesson for me, to be able to fit your music into where he was. As a supporting artist, one has to really bring their own sound. In jazz world, you are expected to be able to understand what the composition before you is about. Then you must be able to give what is necessary to expand it and make it bigger and better. That's a craft that we all have to develop as spontaneous composers. Yeah, from the top, and just a couple voices apiece. Right. I do realize the importance of giving back. One of the most important things is to have the student to develop their own voice. Understand that there are no mistakes that you can make, but it's how you justify whatever note or whatever place or whatever area you find yourself in. We gave to this country something very important, gave to the world something very important. A musical language coming through us to the people. Hello all. I am so glad that you can all be with me. It's a special time of my life, and it's a special time in the world for all of us. And thanks for being here and supporting me with this beautiful award that I'm getting from National Endowment for the Arts as Jazz Master. It's a special moment for me. I am so honored by receiving the Jazz Masters Award for 2020. Thank you very much, National Endowment. And this is the time that the nation has recognized the music and the effort that I have spent my life dealing with. I'd like to thank all of my predecessors and my mentors, the people I've been working with, my family, my educational colleagues. Well, education is my second name because I've been ordained to educate and give back what's been given to me. In the wake of this award, it encourages me and gives me energy and to continue to grow, to continue to develop, and continue to be here for you, because that's what it's all about, as you have been there for me. Thanks, National Endowment SFJAZZ. Thank you very much, New School. Thank you very much for all my colleagues who have helped me to come to this point. Thank you very much.
At the forefront of jazz for half a century, Roscoe Mitchell is another scientist of sound. He grew up in Chicago and was turned onto jazz by his older brother Norman, who had an extensive collection of 78s. Around age 12, Roscoe began playing clarinet and soon after, the saxophone. He remembers going to neighborhood movie houses where the likes of Duke Ellington and Ella Fitzgerald would perform at intermission. Joining the U.S. Army in the 1950s, Roscoe was stationed in Germany, playing in military bands and parades. Back in Chicago by the early 1960s, he joined the experimental band led by pianist-composer Muhal Richard Abrams, who became an important mentor. Roscoe began to compose, and he united with a powerful community of open-eared musicians: Abrams, Anthony Braxton, Henry Threadgill, and Joseph Jarman, among others. This was the beginning of the Association for the Advancement of Creative Musicians, the AACM. It established Chicago's place in the jazz vanguard, with Roscoe as one of its leaders. He co-founded the Art Ensemble of Chicago, a groundbreaking band of the post-Coltrane Jazz Revolution. He's never stopped exploring uncharted waters, looking for new modes of expression and blurring the lines between composition and improvisation, which he defines as composing in real time. Roscoe utilizes a multitude of little instruments: bells, wood blocks, bicycle horns, whatever he can lay his hands on. He also composes for symphony orchestras, and he is a master saxophonist. No one gets inside a note like Roscoe Mitchell. He can make a room shake, or he can sculpt the silence between the notes. He brings nuance to every millisecond of sound, and in doing so, he teaches us what jazz is about: curiosity, imagination, and finding a personal voice. Here is our honoree, Roscoe Mitchell.
I've always been a person that wants to learn about music. Just got to come back over that just a little bit. I understand that I will never be able to learn as much as I would like to know, but I'm more inspired about learning right now than I've ever been in my life. I was born in Chicago. Jazz came into my life through my older brother, Norman. He would sit me down to listen to music. Later on in the Army, I was functioning 24 hours a day as a musician. So it was where I made my decision that I was going to become a professional musician. When I got back to Chicago, I felt that like I was kind of behind. Hall rehearsed his experimental band at CNC Lounge on 65th and Cottage Grove every Monday night. I went there. They were already studying different ways of approaching music and concepts. They welcomed me with open arms. Totally inspiring Hall was. He was a great teacher to many of the young people that were coming into what became the AACM. The AACM had very good vision. We were encouraged to be individuals. When people are able to, let's say, tap into that part of themselves, all of a sudden they have an endless sea of choices. We went to Paris in 1969. That's when the Art Ensemble became the Art Ensemble of Chicago. We've reached now our 50th anniversary. The Art Ensemble has been able to survive because we became our collective. There's a whole generation of young musicians that are inspired by the Art Ensemble. So it's a whole kind of history. I'm grateful that I'm still living, that I can see some of these things. The thing about improvisation, it's not new. All the great composers were great improvisers. I've always wanted to explore sound, and I hear all of these different kinds of things. For me, most exciting is to be involved in that process and moving it forward. I am honored to receive the NEA Jazz Masters Award. I would like to thank my wife, Wendy, for all of her help. My dad, Roscoe Mitchell, who always told me you can be anything you want to be if you want to be it bad enough. My daughters, Atala Mitchell and Lisa Manning. Marianne Bell, Muhal Richard Abrams, Jody Kristen, Steve McCall, Lester Bowie, Joseph Jarman, Malachi Favors, Famadou Don Moyer, Anthony Braxton, Henry Threadgill, George Lewis, Wadada Leo Smith, Nicole Mitchell, Tamika Reed, Mike Reed, Hugh Reagan, Spencer Bearfield, Jarbibu Shahid, Tani Tabal, Ambrose Akinmusire, Junius Paul, Vincent Davis, Craig Taburn, Kaikanju Baku, Douglas Ewart, Thomas Buckner, Gerald Oshida, Barton Manugian, Joseph Cabrera, Peter Kotek, Joan Wildman, Patrick Flynn, Dennis Notpato, Steve Coward, James Fay, Chris Brown, William Wynot, Fred Frith, David Bernstein, John Ivers, Christopher Luna, John McGowan, Daniel Steffi, Chuck Nessa, Gregory Howe, Manfred Eicher, Steve Lake, Paul Steinbeck, Richard Wayne, Kevin Beauchamps, and Larry Stevenson. I would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts for this award and the staff of the NEA and SFJAZZ for all of their help. What I remember most clearly is all the people who have taken the time to help me throughout the years. Thank you.
Bobby McFerrin, vocalist extraordinaire, proves that one can be both a popular entertainer and an absolute innovator. He does things with the human voice that had never been done until he dreamed them up. Born in Manhattan, he grew up in a rich musical environment. His father, Robert McFerrin, was an operatic baritone, the first black man to sing at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. Bobby's mother, Sarah Copper, was a singer too, and she taught him that music is a healing balm. As a college student in California, Bobby found his connection to jazz and popular music, inspired by Sly Stone, Herbie Hancock, and Miles Davis. In just a minute, you'll hear Bobby's story about hearing Miles' band play live and how he felt as if his body had been molecularly changed. He has a 4-octave range and an astounding ability to turn himself into a one-person orchestra. But all that technique is just a vehicle for the spirit, for sparking his audiences to sing along, laugh, and feel transported. The scope of his career is remarkable. From the chart-topping success of Don't Worry, Be Happy, to his magical improvisations with Chick Corea and Yo-Yo Ma, and from his 10 Grammy Awards, to his conducting the New York Philharmonic in front of 70,000 people in Central Park. Whether he's leading an orchestra in a work by Johann Strauss or leading an audience in a sing-along of The Itsy Bitsy Spider, Bobby is consistent. Through the healing balm of music, he seeks to lift up his listeners. I think play and joy and feeling good deserve more of our time, he says. Ladies and gentlemen, here is our honoree, Bobby McFerrin.
I remember the first time I heard Miles Davis's band play. I left the club feeling molecularly changed. There was something different about me physically that I could actually feel. I was so connected to the music and so understood spiritually what Miles was trying to say.
You never know what you're going to get at a Bobby McFerrin concert, except you know you're going to get Bobby McFerrin. The best artists always are surprising, and he's maybe the most surprising singer ever.
My whole experience and memory of Bobby is just a touchstone of performance and creativity.
It's hard to put him in a genre, but he has been incredibly influential to jazz and to the direction that jazz voice has taken.
Yeah, he sings. He's a scat singer. And yeah, he plays with words. He does all those things, but he does it uniquely.
When Bobby and I perform together as a duet, it's some of the ultimate high for me, because we go out on stage with this intention to just create.
He takes the music very seriously, but that type of freedom that he has is only possible when you have an incredible sense of humor.
I don't like to use the word performance or call myself a performer. I like to think of myself simply as a singer who likes to hang out and have a party, a musical feast of some kind. One of the best compliments I think I ever had, in my entire career, was a woman standing up in the audience and saying, I feel so good now. Thank you.
I've rarely seen him repeat himself, which is sort of contrary to how you sell yourself as an artist. You sing Don't Worry, Be Happy at every concert. That's your climax or your encore, not Bobby. It's different show business.
It's always an expansion, a new band, a new combination of bands, a new collaboration, orchestras and conducting, back to solo.
He challenges both himself and his audience at every turn. I find great inspiration in that.
Everything connects to everything he's done before. So it's like I've seen one performance in every performance, even though every performance is different.
I don't know how to build an accolade good enough. I love him and I'm inspired by him every time we're together. He's music itself.
1, 2, 3.
I've got to quiet down. Enough of this run around. got to get out of town. So I sit alone among the pine and thought, looking for an empty space, living and breathing place, bit of sustaining grace. Out here I bid all my troubles by and exchange graceful lilting melodies with the silence bird. My unfettered spirit taking flight, telling my secrets to one-sided friends. As I lay my back upon a cool moss tree, looking out towards the sky, I can see clouds roll by, I can feel tension die. As I lay my head upon pillowed hands, sightless bird sings to heal weariness I may feel, that sometimes may seem too real. Out here I bid all my troubles by and exchange graceful lilting melodies with a sightless bird. Unfettered spirits taking flight, telling my secrets to unsighted friends.
Thank you, NEA, for inviting me to be recognized in this honor among so many of my dearest friends, influencers, fellow players, and some of the most imaginative beings on the planet. Oh, yeah. My pursuit of music has always been about freedom and joy, joy, joy. Finding inspiration in the folk traditions of every continent, from composed music like Bach, Ives, James Brown. Make it funky now. Make it funky now. Bernstein. Maria, Maria, Maria. Plus every sound I've ever heard or imagined. In the collective improvisations of jazz, to do it well, each player brings their universe of influences and we listen, lead, and respond to each other in ever-continuing real-time adventures. And we actually get to play for a living. Thank you.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. They sing the rising sound of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last, where the white gleam of our bright star is cast. Bright star is cast. Gleam of the bright star is cast. Well, that was really meaningful. And this has been a memorable night of words and music. I hope all of you, wherever you are, have enjoyed the 2020 National Endowment for the Arts Jazz Masters celebration. I'd like to give a special thanks to Marianne Carter and the National Endowment for the Arts, to Randall Kline and SFJAZZ, and to Music Director Fabuloso, Terri Lyne Carrington, and all of tonight's amazing performers. And to everyone who's been watching and tweeting online, thanks to you as well. Now, don't go away. You are all invited to attend a virtual post-concert reception with Randall Kline and our 4 Jazz Master honorees. So as I bid you good night, let's have one final round of virtual applause, a big one, for the 2020 class of NEA Jazz Masters. And now I'll turn it back to Randall Kline at SFJAZZ for the post-concert reception. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Bye-bye.